Jamal, a young man, had walked into the popular Corner Cafe branch in the center of town. He'd just finished a long day at work and was looking forward to a good cup of coffee and a bit of relaxation. The sun was setting, the air had grown cooler, and he settled down by the window, his stomach grumbling from hunger. When he entered the cafe, the barista, Claire, greeted him with a smile. "Hi there. What can I get for you?" "An Americano and a chocolate cake, please," Jamal replied, sounding a little tired but polite. "Coming right up," Claire said cheerfully as she headed towards the kitchen. Jamal found a seat by the window and waited for his order. A few minutes passed, and Jamal noticed that people who had arrived after him were already getting their orders. He checked his watch. 5 minutes had passed, then 10, and still no sign of his coffee or cake. The other customers were enjoying their food, but Jamal's order hadn't come yet. He looked around the cafe. A group of teenagers at a table nearby were laughing and chatting, their meals already in front of them. Tom, a regular customer, had just walked in, and within 2 minutes, he had received his food and was already seated. Jamal, however, was still waiting. His patience was wearing thin. Slowly, he stood up and walked toward the counter. "Excuse me, I've been waiting for a while now. Is my order coming?" he asked, trying to remain calm. Claire didn't look up. Yeah, it's coming. Just wait your turn," she muttered dismissively. Jamal's frustration started to show. "I've been waiting 15 minutes, and other people got their food before me." "Why is that?" he asked, his tone growing firmer. Before Claire could respond, a voice interrupted from behind. "You causing trouble here?" It was Officer Alex Davis, a local cop known for his strict demeanor, especially with the town's black residents. Jamal turned around and replied, "I'm not causing trouble. I'm just asking why my order is taking so long." Davis stepped closer, his eyes narrowing. "You don't need to disturb the peace," he said. "If you don't quiet down, I'll have to ask you to leave." The tension in the room grew thick. Jamal tried to keep his composure, but he was getting frustrated. "I'm not disturbing anything. I'm just asking about my order," he insisted. The rest of the cafe watched in silence, some nervously sipping their drinks, while others whispered amongst themselves. No one spoke up, despite clearly seeing that Jamal was in the right. But Officer Davis wasn't backing down. "I'll escort you out," he said coldly. Just when it seemed like the situation was escalating, a small voice cut through the tension. "Leave him alone." Everyone turned to look at the source of the voice, a 12-year-old boy named Lucas, who had been sitting with his mother, Mayor Rebecca Turner. Lucas had been watching the entire exchange, and something inside him told him that what was happening wasn't right. Davis turned to Lucas with an angry scowl. "What do you think you're doing, kid? This is none of your business." But Lucas didn't back down. "He's not doing anything wrong. You can't just arrest him because you don't like the way he's asking for his food. He has every right to stand up for himself." The room fell silent. People couldn't believe their ears. A child was standing up to the cop, but he wasn't afraid. Officer Davis, momentarily taken aback by the boldness of the boy, snapped back. "You better watch your mouth, boy," he warned. Lucas stood taller, his voice unwavering. "You're not the law here. You're just a bully in a uniform." The words hung in the air, and the entire cafe was now watching the exchange in awe. Jamal was surprised by the bravery of the young boy. But Officer Davis, unable to tolerate being defied by a child, stepped forward and grabbed Lucas by the arm. "Now you've done it," Davis growled. "You're coming with me too." But just as Davis tried to drag Lucas away, something unexpected happened. From the back of the cafe, Mayor Rebecca Turner stood up. Her presence in the room was commanding, and when she spoke, her voice was calm but filled with authority. "Officer Davis, you will not lay a hand on my son," she said, stepping forward, And you will not treat this young man like a criminal simply because he asked a question. The entire cafe went quiet. Mayor Turner's voice was powerful and no one could ignore it. Davis froze, loosening his grip on Lucas. You didn't? Mayor Turner interrupted, finishing her sentence. You didn't investigate the situation fairly. You didn't listen to what was actually happening here. You didn't think a black man deserved to be treated with respect. You're fired, Officer Davis. The room went still. The shock on Davis's face was evident. He had never expected something like this to happen. Mayor Turner pulled out her phone and immediately called the town council. The reality of what had just unfolded began to sink in. Just